everyone. My name is Marla Kane, and I'm the Associate Director of Financial Aid here at Bloomsburg University. Thank you for joining us for our financial aid and student billing presentation. Joining me today are two colleagues, both one from the financial aid office as well, and also someone from the student billing office. I'll give them each an opportunity to introduce themselves as well. Amanda.
Hi, my name is Amanda Kishbaugh, and I'm the Director of Financial Aid here at Bloomsburg. Kathy, go ahead.
Hi, I'm Kathy Haddisty. I'm the Director of Student Accounts at Bloomsburg.
Very good. We're going to get started. We're first going to start off with some basic information for you, and then we're going to turn it over to Amanda, who will talk about some important information here at Bloomsburg University, and then turn it over to Kathy, who will talk about some of the student billing items here at Bloomsburg as well. There are going to be a variety of important things for you to know and to understand, and something to start off more so before we get into the meat of the presentation is that financial aid and student billing is something that you're going to be working with the offices every single semester. So we're here for you. We're here to help. We're here to assist. But keep in mind that, again, you'll be hearing from us and you should reach out to us every single semester. So here's some of our contact information rolling across the screen. You can see that our financial aid office information was available. Our student billing office is now available, and we have relocated to the beautiful new Arts and Administration building here on campus. And if you're not familiar where that is catty corner to the library. Big, beautiful building. You can't miss us. There are a variety of online resources for you to utilize, and we strongly recommend you going out and taking a look at them. You can see that our websites, both our website for the financial aid office, which is located on that top link you can see, which is the bloomu.edu/aid, is our office. And student billing, also known as Bursar office, is that bloomu.edu/Bursar. We also have a variety of social media sites that we strongly encourage not only yourself, but also your student to follow us and to like us on. You'll see we have a Facebook page, a Twitter page, an Instagram page, and also some YouTube videos that are out there. We try to stay pretty current with those websites, those social media sites. We like to make sure that we keep you up to date. We might throw out some unique, interesting scholarship opportunities. We remind you of deadlines. We let you know about work study, and some other activities that are going on here at Bloomsburg. Moving right along, I think it's time to turn it over to Amanda Kishbaugh, our Director of Financial Aid, that will go through some of the items here in the financial aid office.
Thanks so much, Marla. The first thing that we wanted to bring up today is the FAFSA form, the free application for federal student aid. Now, if you are a PAA resident, you did miss the deadline for consideration for the PA state grant, but you still could fill out this form for federal aid consideration. So it's really important to make sure that you mark your calendar for next year to have that completed by May 1st. Every year, it actually does open on October 1st, and it is an annual application. So unfortunately, it's not one and done, but it is pretty simple to renew that every single year. You do need to know Bloomsburg school code, or you can search in the list, and that school code is provided there for you. And once you have done a FAFSA form, you and your student will receive what's called a student aid report, and that's your acknowledgement that that FAFSA was received and processed. Generally, it takes about 3 to 5 days for us then to receive that FAFSA, and another few days to actually process and package your information. This FAFSA is used really as a what I call an umbrella application for a lot of different aid programs. So things like grants, which are free money, loans, as well as work study are all part of this application. Now, after you have done the FAFSA, quite a few of our families get selected for a process called verification. Verification is really just a process where we double check the information that you provided on the FAFSA. Please don't panic if you are assigned this task. It does not mean that you've done anything wrong. It's just a random sampling by the federal processor, and then Bloomsburg is required to complete that process. It's important if you are notified about selection for verification to follow through on those tasks. We will email the student. We may also text them notifications to prompt them to go into our secure system. They can also view the to-do list items in their MyHusky account, but the portal itself where they're going to complete this is a secure portal, so you can feel safe uploading any tax information that is requested or any other family information that's required. We cannot disperse or pay financial aid, federal financial aid, until this process has been completed. So it's very important to take action on that notice right away. Now, sometimes after you've done the FAFSA form, maybe your family circumstances have changed, especially because the FAFSA is collecting what's called prior tax information. There's a lot of time for change to happen. For this FAFSA year, the 21-22 FAFSA, it's actually collecting 2019 tax information. So if there has been a reduction, whether that's from loss of job, significant illness, death, parent separation, it has to be at least 20% income reduction from that 2019 tax year. We can go ahead and take a look at the 2021 information to determine if the student is now eligible for federal funding. Please note that the form is online. Again, we give you the address here, this bloomu.verifymyfafsa.com, and everything is done electronically. So you'll upload supporting documents to that portal. And our review process, depending on the volume, can take a couple weeks. I also want to just call out attention to, if you are receiving any kind of unemployment compensation, you really should reach out to our office for discussion about how that may affect your financial aid. Also, the deadline, there's lots of time for this. And also, if things happen during the fall semester, you still have time to report that, all the way up through February 15th, 2022. So here's some things that I mentioned already, that if your family has experienced a loss of employment, loss of untaxed income or anything like that, or separation, divorce after the FAFSA was filed, or the death of a parent, those are situations that can be considered for special condition. Please note that Bloomsburg does not necessarily have special condition funds. So when you do submit that application, we are reviewing you specifically for federal aid eligibility. And if you are a PA state resident, there is a separate reduced income form that you could fill out with FIA, our higher education agency in Pennsylvania, to report that income information to them. So transitioning into some of the programs that generally get the most questions, let's talk a little bit about the federal direct student loans. Just by doing that FAFSA form, a student is eligible for a federal direct student loan, regardless of family income. For first-year students, the limit is $5,500 for a dependent student. Once we assign that loan and offer it through their MyHusky account and in their award notification, there are some additional steps that students need to take in order to secure that funding. And we have those steps listed here on this slide. First, they need to accept their loans in MyHusky, and then they would need to go to studentloans.gov and log in using their own FSA ID to complete entrance counseling and a master promissory note. Now, so many times I have parents contacting me saying, I did the entrance counseling and MPN for my student. That can't happen. This loan is their loan. It is in their name and it goes against their credit history. So it's really important that the student does this portion of it so that they can learn more about the loan and understand the terms and conditions. Now, students can also decline their loans. So if you have a lot of outside funding or you have enough money saved back that you don't need to borrow loans, certainly we encourage you to borrow smartly and borrow as little as you can to keep your debt burden down. Students can decline in their MyHusky account, and they can also reduce their loans. And we have some information out on our website on specifically how to do that reduction. Transitioning to federal Parent Plus loans. This is a federal loan option that is for parents. And we do have some instructions out on our website. Parents will log in to studentaid.gov using their own FSA ID again. And it's important that this is the parent FSA ID, because if the student logs in and tries to apply for Parent Plus, it won't work. But the Parent Plus loan is a loan that will always remain in the student's name, and it's a lot more flexible than the student loan, because the parent can request really as much as they need up to the cost of attendance to cover and borrow in that loan. Now, it's important that we have to have these loan applications by the end of the last day of the semester. So this is not something that you can put off. College is billed per semester, and those bills are due each semester. So it's not something that you can wait. For example, like at the end of your meal, obviously when we go to a restaurant, we're not paying for each course as it comes, but for education, you do pay as you go. Work study. This is a great opportunity for students to earn a little bit of spending money and potentially save up some money to help pay for a future semester of books, or maybe even contribute to their tuition and fees. It's a job typically on campus where students are paid based on the number of hours that they're able to work in the prior 2 weeks. So it's just like if a student was working at an outside organization, they would get a paycheck every 2 weeks. And it is not deducted from their bill. So you may be wondering why you didn't see work study on your student's award notification, but maybe another school put that on there. And Bloomsburg does that specifically so that there's no confusion that that money is not something that can be deducted from that initial tuition and fees bill. At Bloomsburg, unfortunately, we cannot guarantee work study positions for every student, although typically if students are willing to do the work and do a search, they can find some opportunities. We do list the job openings that we're aware of on our website, so feel free to have your students start checking that out. We are hiring for summer and for fall at this point, so they can start to check out those opportunities. And they'll contact the supervisor listed at each job if they are interested in moving forward with the process. We do not require work study. So again, this is an optional program, but it's a great way to not only build a resume, but also to earn a little bit of spending money. Confirmation of attendance is something that we like to throw in here because it's something that can hold up disbursement of financial aid. Really, this is just an online tool where students go in and confirm that they plan to attend the semester. It's not taking attendance or anything like that. It's really just saying an RSVP for the semester, if you will. So this will be assigned generally about a week or so prior to each semester. And if a student does not do that, we will not disperse any type of federal financial aid. Next, and this is the last slide for the financial aid office, I like to briefly cover what's called satisfactory academic progress. This is important to remember for this time next year, because satisfactory progress is reviewed at the end of each academic year, at the end of the spring. And for federal financial aid, students are required to earn at least 2/3 of all credits that they attempt. And by the end of their second academic year, they have to have a 2.0 cumulative GPA. If you or your student fall below that, that measure, you will lose federal financial aid. So that includes things like Pell Grant, it includes federal loans, both student and parent, and also it includes things like federal work study. So it can be a really hard barrier to overcome if you fall below that standard. If you are a Pennsylvania State grant recipient, you also have additional requirements of earning at least 12 credits for every full-time semester of award received. If you find yourself in a situation where you are not able to earn those credits, perhaps due to an illness or a significant personal issue, you want to reach out to our office, because there is an appeal process that's in place, but it has to be documented extenuating circumstances. And we can help you work through that process if you find yourself in that position down the road. So that's it for financial aid. Kathy, I'm going to turn it over to you for the student billing portion.
Okay, thank you, Amanda. As you can see on the screen, the Student Billing Office, we are responsible for payment plans, your student MyHusky account, which is the billing account for the student. And we have some policies and procedures we'll look at, and the parent supporter connection. Okay, Amanda. One of the things that you may have heard already today, or you're going to hear from our office and from financial aid on a regular basis, is FERPA, or your Family Education Rights and Privacy Act. And FERPA is just like HIPAA. It limits who has access to the student's information. The information is on the student account. It's in MyHusky. They go out. There are directions down here at the bottom of the page for the registrar site, but the FERPA information for financial aid purposes and for the Student Billing Office is available on the student account. They go in, complete the FERPA form in their MyHusky account. That it posts to the student account. And then that way, when you call into our office, or someone else in your family, or if someone called in that was not related to the student, if they have them listed on the FERPA form, we can talk to them about specifics, about what's on the student account. If you are not listed on the FERPA form, and that's the first thing that we will ask, we can only tell you general information about the student account. We cannot disclose anything specific. Okay, Amanda. At Bloomsburg, we have what's called the Parent Supporter Connection, and you can sign up for this Parent Supporter Connection at any time. And it's because we want to get information to parents and supporters as soon as possible. We know that students don't always share information, particularly if it comes as an email. They may not know what to do with it. So the Parent Supporter Connection actually allows us to send emails to your email address. You sign up with it. You can sign up multiple times if you have multiple email addresses. But in that Parent Supporter Connection, every time we send general information emails to the students, whether it be that billing has been done, financial aid is going to be dispersed, what our policies and procedures are, we would then send an email to the email address that you indicate. And again, these are general information notices only. It would not be something specific. So some may not apply to you, but again, you get them on a regular basis, just like the student will get those emails. Okay, Amanda. We do have a payment plan option through MyHusky. Again, all of this is through the student MyHusky account. You can sign up for the payment plan. Beginning in fall, we will open enrollment for the fall semester sometime around probably early June to mid-June. Billing statements for the fall semester will not be available until mid-July because we have to wait until after the beginning of our academic year, as well as setting some of those tuition and fee rates that come from the Board of Governors in Harrisburg. So that information will be available, and your student will be notified when the payment plan is going to open up. Again, if you sign up for it when it opens, there is an enrollment fee. It's $35 per semester. Each semester is a separate enrollment plan or a payment plan. And when you sign up for that, if you sign up for it at beginning, you have 4 payments. If you wait and don't sign up for the payment plan until maybe June or July, you would only have 3. And again, it goes down every month. So it's from August until November for the fall. And then there's a separate payment plan that would be open in the spring. On the student MyHusky account, this is where the student will go to find out anything related to their billing. They will also sign up for classes through the MyHusky account. You can look at your financial aid. Anything that the student is doing is available on the MyHusky account. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, there is a tutorial that is available on the student login page. They can click on that MyHusky resources, the tutorials, and they can see the My Student tutorial, student account tutorial, that will walk them through how to find their bill, how to make a payment, whether it's an online payment or if they're going to mail in a payment. They can also sign up for the payment plan, etc. All that information is available out there under the tutorial section. Now, when you log into the MyHusky account, we did go to a different dashboard within the last year. So when you log into the account, you will see this, what is on the screen in front of you. And you want to click on the finances section. And from that finances section, then you can look at what you owe. You can look at actual account activity. The charges or invoices due would be another selection that you can make if you're going to print the invoice. If you're granting student permissions, and we'll talk about that just a little bit in a minute, that is available from there when we do your 1098-T form in January, if you're going to sign up for loans, and if you're going to have direct deposit accounts attached to your student account for any overpayments on the account. That is all available from the login page on your Student MyHusky account. Students, as Amanda said, we want to encourage the student to check their email on a regular basis because that is the official form of communication with the student. It is at their BU email address, and we encourage them to make a habit of checking that, like we said, on a regular basis, only because if you miss deadlines, some of those deadlines are hard deadlines and we can't change them. For instance, your financial aid. But if you miss deadlines that are saying about registration, that you have a hold on your account, that we need something from you, those things can harm or impact how you're going to schedule for any future semesters. We do have a mobile app available for students, and it looks similar. The screen looks similar to what is out here on the right-hand side of the screen. But you sign up for the mobile app, and this is the way that Bloomsburg has guest users or parents, supporters have access to the system. It's our portal for parents and supporters, but the student grants the access to the mobile app, so they allow you to see whatever they want you to see. So we have nothing to do with what they open up for you, but they go in there, they grant access to you to see it. You get your own login credentials, and they are the ones that will reset your password if you lock yourself out. But again, this is a way for you to see everything the student sees on their MyHusky account. We also have at Bloomsburg what's called a university bookstore credit, and you do not have to utilize this option, but it is a way for, we realize that that books can be expensive, particularly if you're a first-time student and this is your first time at a university and you're trying to get all of those other things paid for when you're starting out. But this allows you to purchase your books at the bookstore. If you have excess financial aid up to $600, you can purchase those at our university bookstore. This includes the regular books. It also has online, you may have online books that you have access to, but this allows you to use that financial aid. And what happens is the bookstore knows that you can purchase those books. They will send us a file after the end of the ad drop period. We post that to your student account, and then that way, when your financial aid is dispersed, we then return those funds to the bookstore to pay them. So you get your books ahead of time. You don't have to wait until after financial aid is dispersed or until later in the semester when you might have more funds available. And that is all for us. At this point, we want to open up. If you have any questions, please use the chat feature or feel free to email either one of our offices. Again, that information was available at the start of the slideshow, or you can look on our websites for contact information, both phone and email.
All right. Do we have any questions coming in?
I don't see any currently. For those of you that may not have used Zoom before, if you look at the bottom of your screen, you'll see that there is a chat little bubble. And if you click on that little bubble, you'll be able to enter in your question for us to review and to answer for you.
Now, I know a lot of people may be thinking, you know, maybe federal loans are not the way I want to go. Maybe I want to pursue private loans. And that's definitely an option, just not something that we covered in our presentation today. So if you find yourself in need of private loan guidance, please check our website. We do have some information there, as well as a search tool that can be helpful in selecting a lender. Bloomsburg is considered lender neutral, so we would not be able to point you in any specific direction when it comes to lender choice. But you can apply for private loans as another option for paying the bill.
Amanda, I'll go and I'll put the tool website right into the chat feature for everyone so that you have it.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome. In addition, the tool that we do utilize out there is called Elm Select. And basically, again, as Amanda mentioned, we are lender neutral. However, it is a tool that will let you see the loans that students historically have used in the past 3 or so years. So you can do a really great comparison. You can choose between four different lenders. And some things just to be mindful of with looking at private alternative loans is to be sure to read the fine print because it is a loan. You're shopping for a loan. So being that you're shopping for a loan, you want to look and see, do they offer any discounts that may be available to the student? Meaning, will they offer a reduction in the interest rate? For example, upon graduation, there may be a reduction that comes down for the student. There may be a discount and reduction of the interest rate based upon auto pay. So you want to take a look at those and compare and contrast and see what is the best option for you. And it looks like we do have a question. When are federal loans dispersed and when is the fall semester bill due?
Good question. So I'll take the first part. Federal loans are dispersed after the semester has started. Our disbursement happens after what's called the drop add period. And federal loans, state grant, and even the federal grant programs are held until that point. So it's generally towards the end of the second week of each semester. Kathy, do you want to talk about when the bill is due?
Sure. The bill for any semester, whether it's a fall semester, winter, summer, or spring, is always due on the first day of the semester for anything that is not covered by financial aid. If you have a payment plan, of course, you're going to sign up for the payment plan, that would not be due on the first day. We take that into consideration as well as any pending financial aid. But if you have nothing that you're paying except your own personal funds to pay towards the bill, anything not covered by financial aid is due on the first day of the semester. We do apply late fees and holds to student accounts about 2 weeks after that, and a hold will prevent a student from scheduling for any future semester until that hold has been cleared.
And I see there's a question about, will the recording be emailed to us? Kayla, I know you're here from First Year Experience. Do you want to talk about where the recording will be at?
Yes, so the recording will actually be directly on our website, so bloomu.edu/orientation. And there's actually a Zoom with Bloom section, and we will have these videos linked to our uploaded on our YouTube page and linked on our actual website. So give us a couple days to get everything uploaded, but yes, you'll be able to access them again later at bloomu.edu/orientation.
Great. Do we have any other questions? I think we see one in the Q&A. Is there a special honors college scholarship you can apply for?
So all of the incoming student scholarships are handled through the admissions process. And I know that Honors does the review as well for any students that were selected for the Honors College. So typically there isn't a separate application that you need to do for the scholarships for any of the incoming opportunities. Admissions just does review those, although you can feel free to reach out to admissions to see if you were under consideration for anything and you'd want to ask to speak with Sean.
Very good. Another question, when taking federal loans, how do you select to pay interest only along the way to decrease the burden? That's a great question.
Great. So with the federal loans, they could be one of two things. They could be subsidized loans, which have no interest accruing that the student is responsible for paying while they're in school, or they can be unsubsidized loans, which does mean that there's interest accruing during school. However, there's no payment required on either the interest or the principal. However, you can choose to make payments at any time, and you would contact your loan servicer to set up that payment. And once your federal loans are processed, you can actually go into the National Student Loan Data System to find out who your loan servicers are. And I see Kayla provided Sean's email in the chat, so any type of scholarship questions for incoming students can be directed to Sean.
Something else to go along with federal loans, be aware that due to the pandemic, that the interest rates, everything is frozen until September 30th, as of right now, 2021. Additionally, with those federal loans, the student will receive an actual paper letter in the mail from their loan servicer, and it'll provide information for the student to create an account online where they can go in, they can view those loans, and they can also arrange for payments on those interest only, like we discussed. I don't see any other questions out there, Amanda and Kathy. Any other questions? All right.
Like we've
Well-
mentioned a couple times today, the recording will be provided. So once you have reviewed that, if you think of other questions, feel free to reach out to us. Or if your situation is more specific or detailed in nature and you don't feel good about bringing it up here, again, reach out to us. We do, the financial aid office does offer Zoom and phone appointments if needed to go over anything specific. And so we can certainly address any concerns that you have if you contact our office.
That was just, we have two more questions here. One was talking about the pandemic. Yeah, so due to the pandemic, federal student loans, the interest rates have been frozen up until September 30th of 2021 currently. And then another question is, I think this would be for Kayla. Should we have gotten an email confirmation regarding orientation? They mentioned that they did sign up. And Kayla has responded.
Yeah. There was a glitch, especially if you sign up like the first week or so, there was some kind of weird glitch that was happening that should have been resolved by now. But yes, you should have received a confirmation, but if you're unsure, if you want to double check, please email Jody Roth and I will put her contact in here, but it's jroth@bloomu.edu.
Well, perfect. Well, we don't see any other questions in the chat feature or within the Q&A. So with that, we would like to thank you for attending our session between the financial aid office and the student billing office. You know, you may have questions that definitely come up in the future. And as Amanda mentioned and Kathy mentioned, we're here to help you. So feel free to reach out, whether you're not sure what it is, or even if you think you know what it is and you still want to double check, we're here to help. So thank you all for attending and welcome to Bloomsburg University.
Thank you.